are the Watchers on the Couch. We are the voice that guide the realms of men. We are the Night's Watch. Hello, and welcome to a rather odd, no pun intended, episode of Night's Watch, where, unfortunately, due to technical difficulties, we'll be filming this, not live, but we'll be putting it up on the site in a little bit. But I want to thank Tom and Kimber for joining me once again and putting up with all this technical difficulty. Thank you guys so much for all your patience. I'm Cal, the Kingslayer, and I'm joined by House Odd Shape Channel, Lord Tom and Lady Kimber. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. So I know you guys are limited on time with all this technical difficulties. Let's just get rolling. But as always, we're going to start out with our name days, and we do have a special name day as well today. We have Lord Tom. So happy name day to Lord Tom. So if you guys know, if you don't know, he's actually holding a fundraiser for his birthday. The link is going to be in the description below. It was already in the description below for today's stream. Unfortunately, didn't go live, and it really sucks. But I'll put it up again by the time this episode is available online. But it's in there. So check it out. It goes to his Facebook, and it's for a good cause. So do you want to briefly mention what the cause is about?
Yeah, and I appreciate that. Thank you for the happy name day and for shouting out the fundraiser. So last year we were able to raise $200 for a charity known as To Write Love on Her Arms. It's a charity that focuses on drug abuse prevention, counseling, suicide prevention, counseling, information about depression, just a lot of things that sometimes feel like they get overlooked. So it's important to both of us, and we would appreciate any help. We set a $300 goal this year, and we've already raised $175. So yes, thank you to everybody, including Cal's dad. So I sent him a friend request on Facebook. I don't think
he ever goes on Facebook that much, but
hey, look,
I'll let him know. But yeah, so happy name day once again to Lord Tom, as well as my uncles. Two of my uncles. One of whose is his 80th birthday, the other one was his 73rd birthday. So happy name day to both of them. Moving along, we also do Take the Black. So, like, as you know, if you guys purchase a shirt that our lovely Janine DeBean designed on G9 Designs, send us a picture of you wearing it. We will feature you on the show this week. In our final episode of the actual season, for the actual Game of Thrones season, we have my cousin Jay wearing a Nice Watch shirt along with Ghost. That's where Ghost ended up going. Grew his ear back and all that. But it was actually Rocky, but I like to call him Ghost. But yeah, so there he is. And thank you once again for supporting the channel. And now your watch has begun as the show ends. But it's cool. I know you'll be rocking that shirt when we go on vacations and stuff. So, yeah, so I guess we're about to get started. Let me just make sure I check this right too. All right, so we're going to be talking about Season 8, Episode 6, the season finale, The Iron Throne. And I know we had some mixed reactions about all of it. I'm mostly negatives for most people. Some people were, despite having an up and down season, mostly down for most people. Some people still did enjoy the finale. I would say it wasn't as, people saying there wasn't going to be a happy ending. For Game of Thrones speak, I think this is a pretty relatively happy ending, if you ask me.
Yeah, too happy, some may say.
It's too happy? Well, let's get into it. We have the episode start out with Tyrion walking through Kingslaying, surveying the aftermath of the battle with Jon and Davos. They stumble upon Grey Worm with a bunch of Unsullied, and Grey Worm's about to execute Lannister men. Jon Davos is trying to stop him. However, as you can see, it is to no avail. They said, so Jon's like, I'm going to go talk to Dany about this. Meanwhile, Tyrion enters the Red Keep. He goes down to the bowels and is grief-stricken when he finds the bodies of Cersei and Jaime, both buried underneath the rubble. Daenerys Targaryen flies in on Drogon. We actually get this one really cool scene that everyone I don't think anyone had anything bad to say about this one image because it was really cool.
Yeah, Drogon that was red.
Behind Dany as she walks in. Now she's in all black and such. She's been in all black for a lot lately, except for her Winterfell scenes, I think. She takes her place, and interesting thing to see is I read a note is that she studied a lot of fascist speeches. Like I think she did Hitler speech and stuff like that for the scene to get into like the I guess the mindset of it and all that. So that was really interesting to hear and see her do that. But your thoughts so far from the beginning, from when we have the aftermath, the Unsullied executing people, Tyrion finding Jon and Cersei, up till when Dany takes her place up here.
Yeah, bad guy Daenerys is something I have long awaited. I know a lot of people are really surprised it happened, which still confuses me because although they didn't do the best job of it on the show, I have seen this coming for a long time, as well as many other people. I wish we had a whole season of bad guy Dany. That's my biggest gripe, is that she was so rad as a villain. Like, she's the scariest villain the show has ever had, and we got like maybe 20 minutes of her like total or something as a bad guy. So I thought this was really cool, interesting. Loved that shot. A lot of people thought it was corny, but I don't care if it's corny as long as it's rad too, and it was. I love this. I just wish it had lasted longer.
My bigger gripe is that they were offered more time and more money to do more, and they turned it down. So,
well, yeah, we can only really complain about what we have, but they made the wrong decision.
But they made their decisions is why we have what we have. As far as other things, I feel like Jaime and Cersei should have been under more than like 3 bricks.
But Dinklage was good.
Dinklage was great. I think it would have been smarter if they did like one of their infamous transition shots and it was black and you hear like the digging through, and then it would be half the time and you would still get the emotional punch.
Yeah, he's talking about like a POV through where Jaime and Cersei are up to Tyrion's face.
And then you see like the brick come out and then Tyrion's face there, yeah. I had a question to ask you guys. Do you think they could have survived it had they got under? Because if you look at how it looked like there's like not that much rubble from what it looked like how it ended to what how the episode ended with them crumbling to where we see the next thing. But in the back, you can see Balerion the Dread's skull there. Do you think they could have hid inside Balerion the Dread's skull and being saved by the dragon that they were trying? Like not the dragon, but like a dragon that they're trying to feed.
They could have stood 10 feet away. There was no bricks where Tyrion was.
They could have done this.
Like, seriously. And then I love how they looked like perfectly fine too.
Yeah.
There's just like some dirt on them.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even think about that. They would be like
obliterated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Puddles. And then when she's standing there in front of the Unsullied and everything, I got like First Order vibes from the Star Wars. Oh, yeah. And I just got mad at the writers again because they're gonna go do Star Wars.
More Nazis.
And I also think she raided Cersei's closet.
Yes. That was like the same outfit she wore to the Scepter Baylor, kind of looked like that, the black outfit with the scales.
She goes to King's Landing for one day and she changes her outfit to black.
Well, no, she's been wearing black. But
she was wearing white.
Well, to be fair, her house colors are black and red. But if everyone's stealing Cersei's outfit, then they're just stealing Tywin's, because that murder dress that Cersei wears is a Tywin-inspired outfit.
So speaking of the First Order, this is the scene I'm talking about, where she's standing and basically declaring victory and she's acknowledging that the Dothraki's work, as well as Grey Worm. She makes him the master of war. She says, you guys have fulfilled all your promises. And now Tyrion also arrives next to her. And then Dany starts proclaiming that they got to start liberating the rest of the world, and they'll do it alongside her. Then Tyrion approaches Dany, says, you killed like hundreds of thousands of people for no reason. Because she's like, you freed your brother. And she goes, well, you killed 100,000 people. So you see him take off the hand of the queen symbol, or the little badge, and throw it down, the brooch, I guess, and throws it down in this scene right here. And then she has him arrested. So most likely to execute him, she said, you only get one more failure. And so he's apprehended and walks away. Then all of a sudden, Arya appears next to Jon and reveals that she was there because her intentions were to kill Cersei. Jon orders for her to wait outside the city gates, and Arya warns him that his heritage is a threat to Dany, and she knows a killer when she sees one, and she needs to be stopped. Jon tries to justify everything and all that, but oh wait, that's not up to it. Yeah, this is when he goes to meet with Tyrion and tries to justify everything to him, saying like she just lost her best friend. how would you do it? You've never been in a battlefield. How would you react? You're always standing to the side and watching things as they happen. You're never there. So then Tyrion goes, but would you have done the same thing? And he goes, I don't know. He goes, oh, I bet you do know, and I know. And then Tyrion urges him to do his duty to protect the realm from the greatest threat, which is now Dany. And you have that callback to the Maester Aemon talk where he's like, duty is the death of love, right? And then sometimes he goes, love is the death of duty, or whatever it was, back and forth. One says one, the other one says the other. So Jon is thinking, like, Jon's like, still, like, she's my queen, I'll do what she says. But as Jon walks out, Tyrion says, listen, what about your sisters? You think they're going to be okay with this? And you think she's going to leave them alone? And then Jon thinks and walks out. Now we have Jon walking to the Red Keep, and there's a snow pile there. Snow pile shivers. Out comes Drogon, looks at him, and lets him pass. Inside the Red Keep, we finally have Dany at the throne room, which she's fought, 7 and 5, 6 hard, long seasons to get to. And unlike the Vision, she actually gets to touch the throne this time. But yet she never sits on it. She just touches it. So it was snow, I guess, in the Vision. Could it still be ash too? But there's snow, and it's snowing in Kingslaying now because Drogon was covered in snow, and we do get to see her touch the throne, unlike the Vision. So up to this point, what do you guys have from when she does her first order speech up till when she touches the throne?
Couldn't he also be covered in ash?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I took it as ash.
I think it was. I don't know. I think it was snow though.
No, because the little snow, the winter never made it to King's Landing.
Well, I think that represented the army of
that, and nobody's
the army.
It's cold because everyone's dressed for.
Well, that's because everything's on fire, and everyone's dead.
I can tell you right now, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Either way, it does not matter.
So,
I liked Tyrion throwing the Hand of the Queen pin. It finally gave him a moment to be Tyrion again. He's been very dumb the last few seasons, which has been very frustrating for me as a massive fan of his character. But I felt like he was kind of like Tyrion again for the most part this episode. I liked the conversation with him and Jon. I liked this stuff.
I think the issue was that he was kind of lost. Granted, he was dumb, but I don't think he was as confident as he was in King's Landing. You know what I mean? He killed his dad, all like that. But the moment he realized he was the last Lannister, I think it hit home really hard. He was back, he saw it. I don't know. I
saw a YouTuber say that every time somebody met Dany, they drank the dum juice and lost 50 points off their IQ. And it was nice that towards the end here, he didn't get sucked into whatever is happening to all these characters this season. Poor writing is what it is. But at least this was good.
Yeah.
I just want to know how long that dragon's been there. Because didn't we just see him on top of the... how fast is ash/snow falling?
We don't know how much time has passed. They are very bad with the continuity and stuff this season.
It seemed like such a time crunch, though, because it's Tyrion's execution.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where we're at. Okay, right.
So we have then Jon coming to the throne room, and he confronts Dany about her actions. And then Dany recounts the story of the Iron Throne from her childhood, saying, Viserys told me 1,000 swords made up this, and I wondered how high I'd be, but then it's silly because I could never count past 20. So, it's a lot smaller than I really thought it to be. Then Jon, starts interrupting sort of by questioning her actions and asks her to forgive Tyrion. And Dany goes, I could never do that, but yet we could still build this world together, just you and me. And then Jon proclaims that Dany's forever his queen. He kisses her, and then he ends up stabbing her through the heart with a dagger. I think pretty much the same spot that Jon's final, when he got stabbed by Ollie, pretty much the same spot, and where his scar kind of is. And then Jon kind of begins to sob, and then Drogon flies in on behind him. He sees Drogon and starts fearing for his life. And then this moment actually did touch me, because Drogon kind of nudges Dany, "What's okay? Are you okay? What's going on?" kind of thing. And that was really sad to see the emotion of the dragon there. Mostly we see it snarling and all that, but this is actually a good scene where I saw it, where he nudged Dany to see if she's okay. And then he starts breathing fire. Jon thinks it's him as he tries to dodge, but it's actually the Iron Throne being burned and completely melted.
Dumbest.
And and that's it. And then that's how we're there's a lot of pictures coming up for that. So for this, I mean, so I'll give you guys a minute to talk about it because you guys already expressed your emotions for it. So as I bring up the new images, how do you guys feel about from when John's final conversation with Danny until the melting of the throne?
It was awesome seeing some Nisa imagery, despite it not mattering.
Yeah.
Yeah, this had like Azor Ahai vibes, and like arguably this is the most important death in the entire show because Danny is one of the characters that we've had since the very beginning, and she was set up as the hero for so many seasons. So even though they did do this kind of quickly, and I would have liked to have seen them handle it maybe slightly differently, this was a big important death, and it was sad, and I liked the imagery, and like you said with Drogon nudging her, it was powerful.
I would have liked. I thought that I agree with you that was really cool, but just shooting fire at the throne for no reason is so dumb.
Well, yeah, that's dumb. We both hate that.
But if she, I don't know, didn't die in 2 seconds because that's not how getting stabbed works. What wouldn't like if she had just like Drogon came in and she was still like. And then she looked at the throne, and because she doesn't want anyone else to have it, she says Dracarys and points at that thing. That would have been a million times better. Nobody would have complained.
Him just melting it is very stupid because dragons don't know anything about furniture or politics or like some sort of poignant moment that he doesn't understand that. Like if he was burning the whole room, like smoking the whole room, that's one thing. But they turned this dragon right at the throne and just had him shoot at hit the throne with fire because in some office meeting at HBO they were like, wouldn't it be cool if we melted the throne? It's symbolic, you know? And it didn't make any sense. It was very stupid. And that is when I made my post on Facebook, this is so dumb, watching Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I saw that post, but I didn't know what happened. Because I saw, I don't go on social media until everything is over. And all that. And I couldn't do that because I had to go to bed. I didn't want to see social media because it was the same night as Money in the Bank WWE pay-per-view, and I didn't want spoilers for that. So, and I had school the next morning, so I went to bed right away. But yeah, I did see that the next morning, and I'm like, oh, I wonder what scene she was referring to. And now I know.
That's the one.
Yeah. Well, as soon as that happened, then Drogon actually picks up Danny and flies off. We don't know where. Well, at this moment, we don't know where. And then we have time pass by. We see Tyrion's beard grow a little bit longer. He wakes up in his cell and is escorted by Grey Worm to the Dragon Pit. Pretty much where all meetings happen now, I guess. And he's met by a bunch of people such as Brienne and Davos, as well as Gendry as an unknown nobleman, Yara and the new Dornish leader, and then also I don't have the picture, but it was like Sam and a few other people. Yes. Robin Aaron. Maester, not Maester Royce, but the Sergeant at Arms Royce, Sir Royce, I guess it is, and Edmure Tully, and then obviously the 3 Stark children. Now it's a trial of Tyrion again about him killing, him betraying Dany for the 3rd time, and as well as what happened to Jon Snow, and Ted said, you got to release Jon Snow because you have all these men out here. He goes, no, we cannot because this is our city now. That's what Grey Worm says. He goes, well, the king can decide what to do, or the queen. And he goes, we don't have one. He goes, well, you have all these noble people here, so why don't you guys choose your own king or queen? Edmure Tully stands up and goes, I should be king. I have some, military experience and all this kind of stuff. And then Sansa goes, sit down, uncle. And that was a pretty funny scene. I laughed really loud. And then, she actually nodded back in the chair. So up to now, from Drogon flying off until Edmure Tully standing up in Sansa's retort.
I legit thought that Drogon was going to eat her.
She was like, eat her.
Eat her. So that was funny to me. Yeah, that's all fine.
They're going east.
You're going to start seeing me check out more and more as we get farther into this episode because this episode gets dumber and dumber as it goes along. And that throne getting torched is where it really starts for me. The Edmure thing is funny, but it's stupid, man. Like, I'm just going to let you keep going or let Tom say what he wants to say because I feel nothing about this.
What you say? Robin has grown into his own. I'm glad that they got the actor to come back and he doesn't look like he's like sick anymore.
Yeah, I'm going to say that there are probably many fans who didn't know who that was until like
It's
BuzzFeed.
the colors and stuff.
Until,
how do you not? Anything
because
next
they
to
might not
Royce.
even fucking remember that kid. You have to remember, not everyone knows the show
Just
like
because
we
he's
do.
not on his mom's lap,
And
people aren't going to recognize
well, yes, exactly. There's a lot of characters on the show. This is what I'm saying. That's what a casual viewer
him. Well,
is.
at least
but,
he has a name.
So to finish my sentence, is they probably didn't realize that was him until they saw all the like BuzzFeed articles the next day. They're like, look at Robin's glow up and shit, because that was all over my feed. It was really funny. And
they said, oh yeah, the one funny meme about that was like, see, breast milk does body good, because Tormund in the picture, Tormund, and then Robin, Aaron. So it was just really funny.
For sure.
Sorry, Tom. Do you want to say anything?
Are you good?
Okay, so then Sam stands up and says, "How don't we have a democracy and let the people choose?" At which all the noble people scoff and laugh at him. So he sits back down, and then Tyrion goes, "What better way to unite people than by stories? And who has a better story than Bran the Broken?" And he looks at Bran the Broken, and then everyone pretty much nominates Bran as the king of Westeros, so that maybe that bet for the odds where someone had inside information. However, the one person who doesn't nominate him or back him is Sansa, because just like the North has been free for 1,000 years, we want it to happen again. And Bran nods to that, and then they all end up saying, "Hail, Bran the Broken, king of the realm," protecting of the realm and all that stuff. And now Bran is king. And then as they're ending it up, he goes, "Tyrion, you're going to be my hand." He goes, "I don't want it." And Grey Worm says, "You can't do that." He goes, "Yes, I can, because I am the king. And, I can do whatever I want." So now Tyrion is the hand, and she goes, "That's going to be his punishment, because he doesn't want it, so this is obviously a punishment to him." Then we go to the scene where Tyrion telling Jon what happened. He tells him that the Bran is the king, and then just to make some peace, he's been sent back to the Night's Watch because he can't be released. So we see Jon being released the next day, I guess, or I don't know if it's the next day, but whenever it is. One thing to notice is Dothraki here, so they're actually, I guess, assimilated into the city and not raping and pillaging anymore, I guess. But yeah, there's Dothraki there, and Jon's leaving on the docks, and he does see Grey Worm, and Grey Worm is leaving on a ship to go to Noth, which I did predict, saying that his story arc would end in Noth. I thought we'd probably see him get to Noth, but I guess not. Got it. But yeah, so he's going to Noth. And so Jon Snow is leaving for the Wall. We'll get to the next scene with the reunions at the end, or goodbyes, I should say. But I'll give you guys a chance to speak about from Sam's plea to have democracy till Grey Worm's decision to leave for Noth.
Well, of course, that's how lords are going to react. It's like telling rich people to pay more taxes.
Anything else?
No.
Bran becoming the king is very stupid, and I hate it so much. He is such a wasted character on this show. It's not even funny. He didn't even do anything in his Night King thing when he spent so much time like becoming three-eyed raven and all this crap. Like, he's just been the boringest, lamest, downerest character in the entire show, and then they made him the king. And I have a feeling still that somehow that information got leaked, because I was hearing a lot of people guessing that, and I don't know why you would guess it, because it's so disappointing and lame.
Wasn't there a Bran pop final?
I mean,
not with him on the throne. Not with him on the throne, because I have all of them. I don't think there's one with him on the throne.
Okay.
No, but they didn't have to necessarily do what I wanted them to do, but it would be nice if they did something that's satisfying, and to me that's not satisfying one bit, to have this like child that is a robot on the throne.
The whole reason why Eric, this is for you. The whole reason why people didn't think Stannis would be a good king was because he had no personality. And now you're giving him Bran. Also, who wants to be called Bran the Broken for the rest of their lives?
For real. And Sansa's like brings up that his dick doesn't work. That the memes about that were really funny. And I did love the meme that's going around. I saw it today for the first time, but it's kind of everywhere today, where it's like all the people who are voting for the king, but their eyes are white, and they're like, "Yes, I Bran."
That is funny too. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I was talking to Elise about this and saying, like, what if everything he planned was just so he could become king? Like the way he kind of nudged things, so because he felt like insignificant and he had nothing to do with his life anymore. Ever since he lost his ability to walk, I was like, what if he did all this just to become king? Like, I don't know. because she sent me some article about it, but I was trying to make sense of it, but I don't know.
Well,
anything else?
By not giving people key pieces of information, like, hey, the reason why we're having the Night King go into the Godswood is because that's where he was born. He's vulnerable there. That's why we're doing this. So let's put everybody there, pretty much, I guess. But you didn't need to, and he would have known that. He could have said no. Arya would have got it. Like,
yeah.
I hate it.
So as John's leaving on the docks, he says goodbye to his 3 siblings. I guess you can call them. He sees Sansa apologizes for not being able to do more, but there has to be some sort of peace held, and they embrace one last time. Arya, he says goodbye to Arya. He's like, why are you saying goodbye? You can always come visit me at the Wall. And he goes, she's not going to be going to the Wall. Or she won't be here anymore. She's going to travel, find out what's west of Westeros, which is what Tom said last week. So she will not see Jon again. And then Jon apologizes to Bran for not being there when he needed him. But Bran goes, you're exactly where you need to be when you need to be. And then Bran departs. And, he calls him, your grace. Meanwhile, this is probably one of the better scenes in the episode, I think. We see Brienne sitting with the White Book. And there's funny news about this, too, actually, as well.
Yeah.
But it's, when Joffrey, because callback when Joffrey says, oh, let's look at Sir Jaime Lannister's book. And, like,
somebody forgot to write down all your great
entry. Oh, he's like, well, there's still time. And, but the one cool thing about this scene was that they showed Sir Arthur Dayne's, because, it's for all that, they recount all the great deeds of all the heads of the King's Guard in order. And so Sir Arthur Dayne was then followed by Sir Barristan Selmy, then Sir Jaime Lannister. But I love seeing Sir Arthur Dayne's name in there. It's great for me to see. I love that. It's great. So yeah, she starts writing some things, and she starts, she kind of like glosses it up a little bit, saying that after Whispering Wood, he made an oath to Catelyn Stark to save her children, and then the last thing she save her children. Yeah. Then he goes, faced the army of the dead. He kept his promises and all that, and the last thing he did was he died protecting his queen. Not in a bad way or anything, and that's pretty much it. So it was nice to see that she kind of did pay some tribute to him, despite how he treated her. And then we have the next scene in the small council room where Tyrion's meeting with his small council, which is comprised of Sir Davos, who's the master of ships, Sir Bronn of the Blackwater, who's now Sir Bronn of the High Garden of the Reach. He's the master of coin, and Grand Maester Samuel Tarly. And he presents him with a book, which is the history of all the wars after Robert's rebellion, but he gave it a more poetic title, like he said to earlier, and it calls it The Song of Ice and Fire, or A Song of Ice and Fire. And we'll get to what they talk about in the meeting in a second, but I'm going to give you some talk about Jon's departure with his siblings, and Brienne's entry, as well as the small council meeting beginning up to the Song of Ice and Fire point.
Yeah, I liked the Brienne part, so I'm just going to skip to the parts that I liked so that I don't have to just keep harping on everything that I hated about this episode. But I liked the Brienne part. I was watching someone's video, I wish I could say exactly whose, I don't remember, but they were dissecting the finale and talking about how the show systematically destroyed all of its main characters. But when they got to Brienne, he was like, actually, she's great. I have nothing bad to say about her. And that's how I feel about that character as well. She's one of the few who got out of this thing untarnished by the bad writing. She's great. And it was a good season for her. Yeah, Jamie was like crappy to her, but that's not her fault, and she came back here and handled it like a class act and wrote nice things about him in the book.
Fuckboy.
No, she's an honorable person, and she remained an honorable person, and that's really hard to do in this setting, in this world, and I love her for it, man. She's awesome.
Yeah, because we see what happens to people with honor.
Mm-hmm. And power, and she's getting all of that, and she's still Brienne.
I don't understand why Sansa can't. She has her own kingdom now. She can do whatever she wants with Jon.
And Grey Worm left.
Yeah.
But
they're saying who's gonna enforce it? Yeah. So speaking of enforcing things, we have the small council meeting, and they're talking about what to do about. They make a joke about how Tyrion's mentioned in the Song of Ice and Fire, I heard all. And then Sir Brienne appears, I guess because she's the head of the Kingsguard, as well as Bran, who's the king. And let me see what... Bran asked about Drogon's whereabouts, and they're unknown. And last scene, he's flying east, so towards Essos, I'm assuming. And then Bran said he'll try to locate him. He goes, "I'll leave the rest up to you." And he leaves with Sir Podrick, who's also a knight of the King's Guard, I'm assuming, because he's wearing the same golden mail. If you see, there's a raven encrusted. I love how that does change. They're still good about the wardrobe and decorations of the wardrobe. It's, you know, how when they had the crown, before it used to be like the stag, and then they had like the crown of the faith, but they had the crown with a 7-pointed star, and now they have the crown with the raven in it. There's a raven. I saw a zoomed in picture of it. I think.
No, that's cool. I didn't catch that.
Alt-Shift-X did it, and I saw it on his thing.
Is it like an eye? Is it a crown and then the raven's on the inside, so it looks
like the raven's in the middle? I can't point. You can't see my mouse, but it's like where Bran's like right above his right ear. In the middle is a raven, according to that's what Alt-Shift-X showed it as.
That's cool.
So he lets and they were leaving, and they're like, "Long may he reign." It was all mistimed. They're like, "We'll get it better," and he goes, "I know you will," or whatever. Then they sit down and talk about like rebuilding either the army, the brothels, and all that kind of stuff. And that which brings up the joke that I was hoping they'd finish for Tom's sake, the honeycomb and the jackass, but they did not finish it. They did one last callback to it, but they didn't finish it, and I was so upset to hear that. Maybe we'll eventually get to it, but who knows? Thus begins the epilogue, which I'm going to break up a little bit because I don't have enough space. We have Jon arriving at the wall, and he's greeted by Tormund, but not only Tormund, as you see right there. He looks a little skinnier, I think. I don't know. But he's also greeted by an old friend, Ghost. And this is, I guess, the people finally got their way because he finally pets Ghost in a nice scene. Because, you know, a lot of people were talking about how he never got to pet Ghost. And I feel bad for all the people who are giving all the not the writers, but all the graphics, the video editing people or whatever, saying like, "Oh, why wouldn't you give him a scene of the Ghost?" And they knew it was coming, but they didn't want to spoil it for people. So good for them to take the heat for that because they actually got to do it there. So I had to applaud them for that, at least. Because they did take a lot of heat for it. And it does happen later on, as you can see. So your guys' thoughts from the small council meeting up till Jon reuniting with Ghost and Tormund?
I mean, you can pet your dog more than once a year. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, he didn't know he was going to see him again. Fuck you, Jon. Yeah. I like that Bronn is the new Littlefinger. That's exciting to me. This dude is the master of coins. He's setting up the brothels. He's making moves. Bronn is the new Littlefinger.
Except rich.
Yeah.
Like actually rich. Like Littlefinger like got by with his
That's because he's better at scheming.
He had to scam off the top.
Because Bronn will kill you is the thing. Littlefinger's not going to like physically kill you, but Bronn will kill you. So I was talking to Morgan about that. And he's like, I didn't think about that, but totally. And that was like one of my favorites. Little things, little details.
Sam seemed to get all of his rings fairly quickly. That was weird.
Yeah.
Like he shouldn't be a Grand Maester without like another 10 years actually doing the things at the Citadel. But I guess he got a part.
Yeah, and he got the fast track to.
I love that Davos is the master of fleets.
You're just glad he lived.
I'm thrilled. I was like, my one dude I want to see live throughout this whole thing, no matter what, is Davos, and it happened. Because all the time he's like, "How do you think I lived this old? Got this old?" And I'm like, "Because you're smart, Davos."
So of the 3 people emblazoned on our crest, you're the only one that lives, Tom. Oh no, wait, actually I live too. So I guess Kimber's the one who died. I guess. Oh well.
What?
Sorry. We're talking about
because you're missing.
Yeah.
The Melisandre. Yeah.
That's fine. She's not actually like my favorite character, but making me Oberyn doesn't make any sense. So.
It was. When we made that logo, I guess it was during that season, it was like Jon being flanked by Davos and Melisandre. That's why we had it that year. But yeah, so any thoughts from you, Kimber, about the small council meeting up till Jon meeting with Ghost?
Nope.
All right, so here's the rest of the epilogue, guys. We see a pretty cool ship. For the first time ever, I think we see a Stark ship, which is cool. the masthead of the Wolf, and has Arya journeying to west of Westeros, just like Tom said before.
I actually forgot to say something. Me and Tom, when they announced, when Arya's like, "I'm not going to be around to go to Castle Black," we're like, "Don't do it," because we thought for a second that she was going to be like, "I'm going to go marry Gendry."
I choose life.
And we were going to be so heated. So we were glad to hear her say the West of Westeros thing, at least.
Yeah. Speaking of someone who's doing really well for themselves, Sansa, who also, I think, also said fashioned her crown after Cersei's, somewhat similar to Cersei's crown, except this one has direwolves on top as opposed to lions. Also, in the opening, the lions on behind the throne was gone, it was shattered, and some of the King's Landing was destroyed, but the Red Keep was still intact. For a difference in the opening, and she's been proclaimed Queen of the North. So good for Sansa now. And the final shots have Jon leaving the wall. Very much a callback to the first ever scene in Game of Thrones, where the Ranger Royce, who's the son of the Sergeant of Arms of the Vale, one's called Waymar Royce, the other one I forgot the other one's name is.
Jon Royce.
What is it?
Jon Royce, I think.
Jon Royce, yeah, okay. He leaves with the other guy, that one coward guy, and the other guy who they all leave in the beginning, to a dangerous territory. But now it seems like it's a lot safer because all the wildlings are leaving, as well as children, kind of happy to leave, go back north, where it once used to be a frightful place to be. And John Lake takes one look back at his old home and proceeds to ride off into the sunset with his new family, I guess. And so ends the Game of Thrones.
So is he deserting, or do you? Okay, three options. Is there not really a Night's Watch, and it was all a big practical joke because we only saw two people in black?
He could just be escorting them.
Well, don't forget, Castle Black. I don't think Castle Black got demolished. Remember, because they came through East Watch and then the Last Hearth. So
yeah,
I think Castle Black. Whoever was at Castle Black should be fine.
I think they said something about like people who get arrested have to go somewhere or something. Like they had some little.
Okay, and then question number 3 is so 2 is he a ranger and he's just going out and then he's gonna come back and go back and forth like Benjen, or is he definitely like just going to, like James was like, is he king of the north? And I'm like, he doesn't want it, but we all know
I
how
don't
that
think
works.
he's bailing. I think he's escorting them, or like you said, coming and going as he pleases.
Yeah. He's too honorable to be, to leave his post, right? So I don't think he'd do that.
We didn't see him redo his oath. Maybe never.
That is true. And what else about Sansa? You guys were happy about Sansa's scene, and what about?
I don't really care. She looks cool. It's fine. It's cool for Sansa fans. Like, she's certainly a character who's been through a lot of stuff. I think that the writers kind of have like a hard-on for Sansa and Arya on this season, and kind of made them get a sweet deal. And Jon got screwed, but like both times, Jon, Sansa becomes the Queen of the North, and Jon gets sent to the crappy wall. Arya gets to kill the villain that was clearly set up for Jon. So I think it's a little weak sauce for our poor boy Jon Snow. But I guess if you like Sansa, that's cool. Her outfit was rad.
Yeah. Oh yeah, with the emblazoned or adorned with the weirwood leaves.
Super cool. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, Tom and I were talking about that earlier. She's got the best outfits, I think. Well, besides Cersei, obviously, and Dany's got some cool ones. But I love how she, she kind of takes pride in the whole stitching, because the whole thing about her stitching. That's how the show opens up as well, too, with her. So it's just nice to see that. Any thoughts before we go to our champion? Any last thoughts?
Yeah, this season made me sad, and I'm really sad inside. And at least it's over and they can't hurt me anymore. But it's a huge bummer that the show went this way. I really felt it starting at episode 3. That this was going to decline, and it sucks that it did, because it was a show that was pretty freaking good, one of the best of all time for many years, and then it really fell flat for me here, and I'm very disappointed with this season and the ending of the show.
Maybe we'll see some spin-offs with Arya's trip and all that. I don't know.
If they want me to watch spin-offs, they should do a better job with the show I care about. Why would I want to go watch their spin-offs when they can't even finish Game of Thrones properly?
Another good thing is that if they do the prequels, though, they will have some source material, so that'll be better for them. Yeah.
That's why they didn't finish the honeycomb joke.
Oh, they don't have the source material for it.
They don't know what it is.
That's right. One last question for you guys. Will Dany come back?
No, but maybe she's pregnant.
No. What I'm thinking is, remember, she got stabbed in the same place Jon got stabbed. They're taking them to Essos. What's in Essos? A lot of priests and priestesses from the lore. So
I mean,
Maybe
the dragon's
come back.
actually a lot smarter than we give it credit for. So
Yeah,
maybe.
so, and maybe the dragon sacrificed his own life by giving the kiss of Valor to Danny. Who knows? Danny might be still living. We never know. So with that said, we're going to go to our champion. We're going to start with Lord Tom this time for his birthday. Tom, you need to go first. Who is your champion of the episode?
Us. We made it.
We did it.
No,
No,
I mean, it's going to be.
I want characters today because I know it could always be the writers being bad and all that. I want characters today. Davos? Why? Because he made it?
He made it. He did it. And he, like, a lot of characters didn't have an arc. They just went, like, full circle. Like, John went to the wall and then went back to the wall. Davos, like, from Flea Bottom to Master of Fleets.
Started from Flea Bottom.
Now he's here. And I really liked his story the most throughout. I thought he gave good counsel in this season. He was never one of the.
Wait, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that in a second. I just want for this episode right now. We're gonna get to that in a little bit. Just for this episode, Davos still Davos for this episode.
Yeah, Davos.
Okay, Lady Kimber, who is your champion?
Mad Queen Danny. There should have been way more of that. That was the coolest part of the episode.
All right, as for me, my champion of the episode would have to be Jon Snow. I've been giving him the shame bell all season, but he finally did his duty. I just got to see him stab Danny. And don't worry, there's going to be more to this when I get to it in a second when we get to the next part of this. But I really, I've always been rooting for Jon like the entire series, but finally it was just a relief to see him do something because all season he's been like, she's my queen. I'm loyal. So him to finally actually do something makes him my champion of the episode. Now, though, we're going to go to our champion of the season. So I'm going to start with Lady Kimber this time. Who's your champion of the season?
I was not prepared for this. Danny. She's the one character who did what I wanted her to do. So I have to pick Danny again.
All right. And Lord Tom?
Probably Braun. He didn't waste anyone's time. His lines were never repeated. Or just quoting some Maester from the wall. And he, like Davos, has gotten to, like, he didn't shine as much this season, but he shot a dragon last season. Let him take a break.
As for me, I would also have to agree with Kimber. I would say Danny is my champion of the season because she helped save the North with the dragons. She kept her promise there. Then she also did, even though she went Mad Queen, which we enjoyed seeing. Most of us enjoyed, or some of us enjoyed seeing. She got to achieve her goal of getting the throne. Did she ever sit on it? No, but she did touch it. And we don't know if she's dead yet. Like I said, she might be going to Essos and being revived by a red priest or priestess for a spin-off.
Don't be Eric.
I don't know, but I just I'm glad to see all 8 seasons culminated in her getting what she wanted. Did she sit on it? Get to own it for a while? No, but like you said, we sat on the throne longer than her because she didn't even sit on it. But yeah, so she gets my champion of the season. But with the good, there must come the bad. So remember, we're gonna do a shame bell of the episode first, and it has to be a character, not the writers. We've already established that all season long for Night's Watch. What character? We're gonna start with Lord Tom now. We ring the shame bell for the episode. This episode.
I am shaming Edmure Tully. How dare you? How you?
Wait.
You haven't been breathing fresh air for 5 minutes, and you're trying to be king.
Exactly.
It was embarrassing.
Lady Kimber, who are you going to ring the shame bell for?
I'm shaming Brandon Stark.
All right, hold on. Shame.
It's just dumb, and I can't get on board with it. I hate it so much, and it's made me potentially angrier than anything this season, other than the way things went down with the Night King. So I shame everyone involved with Brandon Stark becoming the king.
It's pretty much everybody.
Right.
Good.
As for me, I'm going to shame Tyrion Lannister. Shame. the reason why I'm shaming Tyrion Lannister is because he goes, who has a better story than Bran? How about Jon Snow? Jon Snow was a bastard. He went to the wall, became Lord Commander, died, came back, won the Battle of the Bastards, became King of the North, and then, fought the Battle of Winterfell, even though he didn't do much besides yell at an undead dragon. But still, how is that not a better story than Bran, who just went up north and became, a green seer? I mean, it's kind of cool, too, but come on. Why would you say who has a better story than Bran the Broken? Because Jon Snow does. That's why I give him the shame bell for this episode.
As much as I don't want to admit it, Arya has a better story than Bran.
Everyone pretty much has a better story than Bran, I think. So now that I'll turn back to Lady Kimber, who are you giving the shame bell for the season now? Who are you going to ring the shame bells for the season?
No hesitation, Arya.
Okay, hold on. Shame. Why Arya?
I know everyone loves Arya, and I used to love Arya too, but they're pandering to Arya fans, and they're making her do everything interesting and important, and the fact that she didn't die when she easily could have 67 times this season. She annoys me the moment I see her now. I hate it. Arya, that's my answer.
All right. Tom, who are you ringing the shame bell for the season? Not the writers, remember.
For the season,
Stannis. No.
I will give my shame bell to, what's the dude, Marine? Who's the guy in Marine?
Which guy? You're being pretty vague. I
don't
know.
Who's Danny's boyfriend in Marine?
His son?
No.
No.
Daria.
Oh, Dario.
Dario No Harris.
What? Come on. You could have shown up at any point this season. Shame. Honestly, though, I think she forgot a lot of the lessons that Dario taught her. Like, you need to know the people before you can rule them. She didn't spend any time trying to understand Western customs. She was just like, nah, bend the knee. So
she doesn't need to know the people if they're all dead.
Yeah. But she forgot some of the best advice and best she probably got. So probably better than John.
All right. Now we have, for me, who I'm going to ring the shame bell for, it will have to be somebody I ring it for 5 of the 6 episodes, because this one I gave the shame bell to Tyrion. It's going to be Jon Snow. Shame. Like I said, the reason I didn't give him the shame bell this week is because he actually did something, but the rest of the episodes did absolutely nothing besides yell at Viserion. So that's why I said, he's, besides saying she's my queen and I'm loyal to her and all that, that's why
I don't want it.
I don't want it. Yeah, that too. So that's why I gave my shame bell to him. But with that done, we're going to have to listen to the noise that we hear in the background, because I do hear something coming. So that sound could only mean that there is a raven from Castle Black and signaling our Maester, Jeff, joining the show. How are you doing, Maester Jeff?
I'm doing great, guys. It's good to be back.
Yes. I mean, it's kind of unforeseen circumstances with this not going live, but thank you for joining us regardless and being up to date with the Twitter and all that, for letting you know when you're going to be here. So, what do we have to go? You have any thoughts about the final episode before you go into the poll?
I'd love to step into that minefield. That would be great. I really did enjoy it. I'm probably one of the few that did. For the way that the show was going, there were so many storylines that were, let's say, not treated with the most respect. But from an achievement, I have to admit how incredible it was. But it is such a divisive, and maybe that's what they were going for. I guess that's what they were going for.
I mean, like we said, a lot of people enjoyed it. Some people didn't. I mean, some people enjoyed it. A lot of people didn't. But what can you do? That's what we have. And what we left. Now you can read the books. So what was our poll for this for the final episode of the season?
Let's see. This poll, from all the polls that we've done this year, this is the one that got the most responses. The poll was, who would sit on the Iron Throne? So obviously, a lot of people had a lot of different opinions on it. Eric, of course, said Stannis. He said, I have to. It stinks. Billy said that nobody would because Arya was going to kill the queen. I assume he means both queens by that. Kimber, you said Tyrion or Sansa, which is what I hoped for. Raul said that Samwell Tarly. I thought that was an interesting one. And Moon Knight and Rob both picked Brain. So they were the closest there.
But technically, I was going to say, technically, no one sat on the Iron Throne because it melted.
True. Yeah. I had hoped that the throne would get destroyed. I just didn't hope it would get destroyed in the way it was. So, Daenerys got 9% of the vote. Jon got 27%. And nobody got 42%. So that was the overwhelming pick by most people, that nobody would.
All right. And we have one last poll for next week's final episode of Night's Watch. So what does it say?
What is that poll? I don't know what it is.
Oh, okay. I thought I didn't post a link yet. Okay. It's what will you miss most about Game of Thrones? The choices are A, the characters, B, the game, C, the culture or lore, or D, other. So what would you say, Jeff?
That's a hard question. I mean, for me, the characters and the culture are one and the same. You know, the characters and the lore are so connected that I would have a hard time picking between those two. The dialogue for me, I think. You know, going back to those early seasons, the dialogue was always so captivating, and you know, you didn't need a single sword fight or any physical action. The tension was always, it was so thick you could cut it with a knife just through the dialogue. That's what I'll miss the most.
Tom, what about you?
I think I'll miss some of like the funnier moments. This season, oddly enough, had some really good like reaction comedy that you wouldn't expect, like Cersei like trying to walk by the Hound and like a lot of little things that made you laugh. It's a lot better than like some seasons that just were all like fart jokes. What was that, season 6? So I'll miss some of the like the funny moments, like all of the Tyrion. I'll never know the Tyrion joke, but like what we were just saying about the dialogue. I think the comedic dialogue is probably.
I think we should make a list of our top 5 finishes to that joke. Like,
oh, that's a good one. Yeah, I like that.
Okay. What about you, Kimber?
What was the question?
What are you gonna miss the most about Game of Thrones?
What I'm gonna miss about Game of Thrones is the good times. I love fantasy, and some of these characters were so interesting and so amazing. And I know I'm gonna go back and watch the older seasons mostly, and remember the good times. There was so much great moments throughout the series that were just beautiful and made me feel all kinds of ways, as well as the stellar performances from basically pretty much the entire cast. So I'm going to miss the greatest show on TV of all time, in my opinion, even though the last couple of seasons were trash.
You know, can I add something to that, though?
Yeah.
Because I completely agree with what you're saying. And what I wanted to say was, as divisive as it became, not just this season, but last season as well, I was always so compelled by the performances. So I think that we really should give credit to all those people, even though the scripts might have not even been what the actors wanted them to be. They committed and gave everything that they had. So it was one of the greatest shows ever, mostly because of that too. So yeah.
Amazing acting, amazing costume design, beautiful set design. Everything was on point for the show, other than the writing this season. And it sucks. Part of it is George Martin's fault, because if the books were finished, they would have had the source material to do justice to the story. But so part of it's on him too. and I'm excited to see what he does write. And I've heard other YouTubers express the sentiment that maybe in 10 years from now, they'll redo Game of Thrones with the actual ending that Martin writes, and maybe that'll happen someday, you know?
I was talking to somebody, and they're like, it was my buddy Union. He's watched the show before, and if you're watching this, hello, Union. He was like, they should just do a better like story adaptation with animation. I would watch the hell out of that if it included everybody.
They do that, like when they do the what do you call it? The
lore.
Yeah, the lore.
Yeah,
I mean, like real animation, but based on that style would be cool.
Yeah, I mean I like that, but
you guys, I wasn't here when you were talking earlier. Did any of you talk about the blog post that George Martin wrote?
No, about how it's gonna be different and the same, but different and the same. Yes, no, yes, no.
That was frustrating because he was basically passing the buck. You know, he wasn't taking responsibility. But what I was going to say about it was that he felt so much gratitude for everything that HBO had done, and I just wanted to echo that sentiment. That, you know, say what we will about things that we loved or didn't love, we can't argue with the fact that it was a stellar achievement.
For me, as cheesy as it's gonna sound, is the thing I miss most is doing this. Like, I made so many great friends doing this. You know, starting this
I met you all through this.
So yeah, I
This
mean,
is how I met everybody.
It wouldn't if it wasn't for like Game of Thrones, I wouldn't have had this. You know, and all the people who pushed me to do this. So I'm thankful for that. So we'll get more to that next week. But yeah, I think like doing Night's Watch and that. But if I had to choose that, it would be like probably the characters and the lore, like you were saying, Jeff. You get so engrossed with it, and with that, it's also inherent with the acting. It's all like one big, beautiful set piece that goes together. It's just like Kimber said. Unfortunately, the writing at the last part was like the little staple that tried to hold it all together at the end, but it couldn't. That's what happens. But with that said, I guess we're gonna go ahead and wrap up, and I'm gonna put up the social media thing. If we could freeze frame on this, and you guys can plug yourselves first, Lord Tom and Lady Kimber.
Yeah, we have a bunch of content over at Oddshaped channel, and if you could share around that fundraiser Cal was talking about in the beginning of the episode, I would really appreciate it.
I am doing my true crime channel. This week's episode was a little bit delayed, so it's actually coming out tomorrow, and that one will be about Ted Bundy. You can find me if you just search my name, Kimber Bennis, on YouTube, and you can find me on Twitter at Kimberbatch_OSB.
All right, and Jeff?
You can find me here on Twitter at JMasterPoet. Our internet is very unreliable lately, but once the rainy season starts, it should ironically start getting better. At JMasterPoet.
Yep, and as for me, I can always find me, Cal the Kingslayer, here on the Kingslayer Network on YouTube and Twitch, and also tweet at me at KingslayerNet, or tweet at the Night's Watch at Night's Watch Tube. Once again, let me thank the people who've done the title card, like Janine Nabeen. You can find her at Janine Nabeen, and my cousin who's done the music at Shrieks Music on Twitter as well. So this is it. This is pretty much it for our coverage of the actual show itself. But we do have one last episode of Night's Watch coming up next week, hopefully at the normal time. Hopefully you do it live, because we really want to hear from you guys as well, live and interact with you guys. It's going to be our look back at the series where our watch ends. We're going to talk about our favorite moments, our favorite deaths, and our favorite characters. And we're going to make all compiled lists, and we're going to do it how we normally do it. And hopefully we'll have some few surprises during the episode as well. But that's going to be at 9 p.m. Eastern, hopefully next Wednesday. If not, we're going to do it like this again. But I really want to interact with some of you guys live. So hopefully I want to thank you guys for bearing with me and going through all the technical difficulties and all that. But yeah, until then, we'll see you guys next week. This has been the season finale of the Game of Thrones, Season 8, Episode 6, The Iron Throne. And we'll see you guys next time.